Hello, welcome to another bulb log video diary. Again, it's coming a bit quicker than last year. My aim was to do one a month. This year I'm going to decide to try and just do them when there's something of interest and something significant changes. And there's been quite significant changes since the last video I did. Can I also say at this point, thank you to everyone that goes on and takes the time to leave a nice message for me. I do try and respond to them all, but if I've missed you, then I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for being with me and supporting me and subscribing to my channel. So this is the Erythronium plunge bed, and I showed you it last time in the last video, and then it was full. The dominant flower was Iris Catherine Hodgkin. Well, they've gone over, they're sort of fleeting, they don't last terribly long. And now it's the Corydalis, mostly here Corydalis malkensis, the creamy white one, that seeds around. It's a magnificent plant. It's these lovely little plants, and it's brilliant. It's just what I want in a bulb. It's a plant that comes up, it's very showy, and then within about 6 weeks or 2 months at the most, it sets seed, it scatters its seed, and then it disappears till next year. And that's great, that's what I want in a plant. The purple one is Corydalis solidus. They're starting to come out as well now. They're just a wee bit behind the malkensis. You'll see more solidus down here with the hepaticas in this little experimental habitat I made here, where I've got the hepaticas and the Corydalis cohabiting. I think it's been quite successful. So anyway, let's have a wander, flip around and come this way. We're going to come up past here. In one of the raised beds, the Primula marginatas are coming out. Really nice. You get a whole range of forms, different in scale and size, and the leaf patterns can be absolutely stunning. Well, not the pattern, but the shape, with these sort of chalky, mealy covering on the top. There's another one, a little one. Again, marginata. If we come around, you'll see that Corydalis malkensis, I'm trying, every year I gather some seed from the areas where it's prolific and I scatter it into new areas, because I think it's important that plants like this are spread throughout the garden, so they link the garden, so they link the different areas. It becomes like a habitat. There's more down here. You can see some snowdrops. A lot of the snowdrops have gone over now, but the snowdrop nivalis, the wee narrow leaf one of the more common ones, it's just coming out in some places. Some of the first of the Erythroniums in the garden are here, and there's some of the trilliums pushing through. I'm trying to see if I got that in the screen, because this light, oh, there we go, I can see it now. That's better. So I'm going to wander around. So the crevice slab beds are just starting to waken up with Primula marginatas. This one here is coming nicely with the Primula marginatas. They are just exactly the same. No, it's not. It's a different form, different leaf. Got another small scale one. But it's here with these little Narcissus. I think these are Narcissus minor, because of the leaves. They're slightly broader and grey. And this one, with narrower, sort of slightly twisted leaves, is Narcissus asturiensis. And of course, no doubting that this is Narcissus cyclamineus with that flared back. So they're holding the station there and putting some decoration in while we wait for the later growing plants to come up. Then some of the early saxifrages, so a saxifrage opposite folia. Really nice. I really must do more to propagate this plant and take cuttings this year, extend it. You see where it grows down the side of the trough. It gets scorched and dies out, but it's surviving at the top. It's the sort of plant that if I don't do something about that and start taking cuttings, at that stage I could very easily lose it. So it's important to keep taking cuttings. More Primula marginata. You can see where the Aranthus hyemalis were there. They've all gone over, they've shut up now. And hopefully making lots of nice seed. Down there there's a Primula vulgaris coming out the primrose. I collected some seeds a couple of years ago and these are the results of those seedlings. So we come around to the path, and whilst I think the last video I was showing you in this area, it was all about this Crocus thomasinianus. Well, they've all gone over now, and now it's again the Corydalis malkensis. If I get down, you can see the crocus leaves and some of the flowers, spent flowers. And now it's the Corydalis malkensis and solida. And this is what it does. It drops out and it puts a seedling out into the path, and within a couple of years these seedlings will produce flowers. Just growing in the garden. Of course they are holding our interest, while down in the foreground here these great clumps of Erythronium. These are Erythronium garden hybrids. They're just natural garden hybrids. I didn't make it the cross, but they're there. And you can see how congested they're becoming, which is good because it means they increase well and you can build up the bulbs, provided you lift them on a regular basis and space them out. This is why I'm so keen on plants that seed themselves around, because then they're always finding new territory and growing well and healthily. If they form a clump, they'll gradually get more and more congested, start to diminish, fewer flowers, and then they will eventually dwindle out and pass away. Round here, this bed, I need some more Corydalis malkensis in this bed. But at the moment it's coming up a carpet of the anemone ranunculoides. Not in flower quite yet, it'll come into flower. And it's quite good because, you know, there's the primrose, Primula vulgaris, grows happily there. There's Primula veris and the hybrid between the two as well, all in this bed. And over there you can maybe see the lovely pinks of the cyclamen coum still going. Other plants have come and gone, but the cyclamen just keeps going on. Let's turn round and move up a level or two up to the thunderously black sky. Can you see that? Over there, very black sun at the south hitting me in my eyes, and very black. We're getting rain and sleet and all sorts going on. But Rhododendron uvarifolium, raised from seed we got from the Himalayas many years ago. Really covered in flowers this year. It's like so many of the big rhododendrons, it will perform exceptionally well every second year. Really beautiful. Down here a seedling hellebore, semi-double. I don't care for the doubles that much, but that's quite nice, and as it's a garden seedling. We don't have any doubles. We've never acquired any doubles, so it's genetically possible to come from any stock. But there's a number of hellebores in this bed, in this area, that are seeded around. The area with the moss, just to update it, I showed you all the beautiful Crocus thomasinianus have now gone over, and it's back to looking quite boring and just moss. If moss is boring, which it isn't necessarily, but if you want to study the bryophytes, that's fine. But there'll be another wave of stuff will come up in here, and I'll work on getting more plants into there just by skeed. Coming round here on the face of the walls, planted here with Haberlias and Ramondas further around. And in this path, there's one of the first of the Erythronium dense canis types, just opening now. Interesting in the shade for most of the day these. And sticks, there's sticks everywhere because the magpies are nesting and they're pulling sticks off of the trees, and if they drop them they don't come and pick them up again, they just go and pull another one off. But I wanted to come here just to show you what will be a feature and a video in the coming months. The seedlings, all these around the path, self-seeding. I'll come right down here. This is a good example because look here, you can see those very thin with the seed capsule still on the top. So we've got first year seedlings, and then if I look down here we can see the whole range. So first year, slightly broader leaf, second year, and then they go up. This will be about possibly 3 years, and then when they come up like this with 2 leaves you'll get a flower, and that can be like 5, maybe 6 years to get to that, although we have seen them flower in 3 years themselves, some of them, but that's quite exceptional. But they're just everywhere, I'm encouraging them. And this area here is a bit dull and dead at the moment, but I'm working it. It's underneath these big rhododendrons, and for years and years their canopy was right down at the ground and down below, so nothing much would grow underneath. But now it's still shaded and a bit dry, but I'm getting plants in, I'm gradually getting plants in that will grow in there. So I'll update on that. There's trillium seed around here as well. So these are the trillium chloropetalum, Corydalis types. I don't know if you can tell the difference, I can never be sure of which they are. And then up here at this end is still different forms of Aranthus, different selections that are seeding around, that flower a bit later, partly because of the clone they are and partly because of the situation they're planted in. And these giant leaves, just look at the size of these from the snowdrop, look how thick and tall they are and broad. So some of them do produce these substantially big leaves. This is one of the slower parts of the garden, so it's just waking up. But you can see I've started to introduce the Corydalis malkensis here and the other, so it won't be long. It'll only take a few years for this to be a nice creamy white mass. So we'll just come round. The wall here is planted up with Erythroniums and Trillium rivalis that have seeded down. It's incredible where they'll seed. So these seeded themselves down the wall. And look, here's them even seeded into the moss that's growing on the rock. It's a very natural way for plants to do. And here's another Primula marginata. So I'll just go round this way. This is my slowly increasing colony of Erythronium caucasicum. Start, gradually spreading out just by seed. I don't think there'll be any brand new. Oh, there might be. Because I think I took the seed from it last year and put it somewhere else in the garden. But it's Corydalis up here as well. Corydalis. There's no malkensis in this bed yet. I haven't put any of that in. So this is a bit bare at the moment, but it'll soon come. I think it's worth coming down and just showing you this. This is the early stage of Jeffersonia. Jeffersonia dubia. There's lovely coloured new leaves and the flower buds stick up like that before they start to, before the chlorophyll starts to develop and they go green. And the flowers are, that's a soft lavender. It's another one here. And then there's a Jeffersonia bifila, is it, whichever, the American Jeffersonia. Up here, this bed has got the guinea golds in. They flower a bit later and keep going for longer. But again, just to mimic the garden all around, up in this bed, if you search, there's all sorts of hepaticas as well. So plants link around the garden. You've got the Erythronium caucasicum in here that I've gone over. There's a whole lot more Erythronium to come through that we're waiting for. And if I come here, the Erythronium caucasicum even grows, has put itself into this container with an old dwarf elm. The elms seem rather better days. One part of its trunk's died out and there's dieback and rot, but it still grows. It's a venerable old tree. It's over 40 years old. And so this is the process that, although we've been gardening here for nigh on 50 years, it's still a process of evolving the garden, pushing it forward, gently coaxing it into what we want by moving plants around, not moving the actual plant so much, although we do have to do that with some of the bulbs, split them and spread them out. But ideally it's the ones that seed around that are the best, because they are really great for the camp. The cardamom, another lovely spring plant that will grow in heavy shade, and it's just coming now. But let me finish off with sitting here on a wee stone seat, looking over the Corydalis malkensis in this bed. There's an anemone there coming through. That's a form of anemone nemorosa. All the snowdrops have gone over. The leucodiums have gone over. I can see all their foliage. But there's a whole new wave of stuff to come. And that's the beauty of a garden. But allowing it to seed, even at my feet, in this bit of the path, there's seedlings of Erythronium and Trillium and Corydalis and Crocus. So people have often asked how you get a garden to look like ours. And it's really by having a light touch. Choosing the right plants that will seed around in your conditions. And allowing them to do that. Allowing nature just to work its way. So I'm going to call it an end of a wrap, is what they say. I'm going to wrap it here and go and have a cup of tea. So thanks for being with me again. I really do appreciate your comments and you all watching my video, because without you out there there'd be no point in me doing it and sharing it. To share our garden and my love of plants with you is a pleasure. So thank you again. Bye for now.